Abbas family history is steep in gambling and casinos. All about gambling and casinos specifically.
This just brought up Erika Kirk's great-grandmother running illegal slot machines. What the that has to do with literally anything is beyond me. We've got to talk about Candace Owens, who, of course, was a conservative political commentator, but has kind of gone her own way and is now a self-described conspiracy theorist. But she's got a huge podcast audience. It is very large and very relevant, and in part it has grown due to her feverish conspiracies and kind of constant goalpost shifting when it comes to the death of Charlie Kirk, who was her friend, according to her, and she does not believe the official story and has kind of moved on through this rapidly ever-changing web of narratives that originally involved everyone from Brigitte Macron to Egyptian military planes to supposedly Turning Point USA insiders betraying Charlie. And at first, Candace was very careful to not at all go after Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, and to not implicate her in any wrongdoing. In fact, so much so that when Candace first began her investigation, which is super duper serious and legit, she actually repeatedly said she would stop at any point if Erika Kirk asked her to, which, I mean, Candace was making millions of dollars from it and getting tons of views and attention. And then Erika eventually did ask, and Candace changed her tune. Now we're into this whole nother saga where she has, it almost seems quaint looking back at these clips where Candace was so respectful to Erika and said, I'll stop if she says, and all this stuff, because now she's basically accusing her of being in on the murder or some kind of cover up, and just launched a whole docu-series attacking Erika Kirk with mostly irrelevant, random gossip and speculation about her past. And I watched it so that you guys don't have to, and I'm going to tell you all about it. I pulled a bunch of clips from it. First of all, I just want to, it is worth revisiting this, how explicit Candace was with her promises to stop this sham investigation at any time if Erika Kirk asked her to. Here's a clip put together by a Candace Owens kind of critic account, Milk Bar TV. Watch this.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erika Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. There's nobody that has the capacity to get me to shut up about this except for Erika Kirk. And I will say this, like, I am on this journey to figure out what happened on that day. I'm not going to stop unless Erika Kirk asks me to stop. I said early on, if Erika Kirk asks me to be quiet, I will be quiet.
But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, but this is not okay.
It's a no from me, but you know me. I'm just out here saying what needs to be said. We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsors.
So guys, the cha-ching sound you heard there is apt, but that was not, in fact, in the original episode. That was added by the editor, who is trying to make a point about Candace Owens. So in the spirit of transparency, I should let y'all know that. But no, I mean, we have watched this situation devolve rapidly from just asking questions to throwing out insane theories that then get debunked and fall apart. Like, for example, Candace she had this whole web of conspiracies about Egyptian military planes following Erika Kirk and all this data that she put out about it that then people fact-checked. Even frickin' Alex Jones, the InfoWar conspiracy theorist guy, fact-checked her on this and was like, hey, this data is all wrong. A lot of it's not even the right continent and all sorts of stuff. And then she promised an update and just moved on and has never talked about it again. And now instead is digging through Erika Kirk's photos of her from daycare and her high school yearbook. Seriously, we're going to get to all of that. That was in this first episode, which I watched in full, of the anti-Erika Kirk series called Bride of Charlie, rather. And anyway, there's been this narrative about, well, she's not accusing Erika of doing anything. She's just asking questions. For a while, people were saying that. But I want to just play you this clip that kind of eliminates all doubt that she is, in fact, directly accusing Charlie Kirk's widow of involvement in his death or some kind of a cover-up. Here's a clip from her February 10th podcast episode just a few weeks ago. Listen to this.
All right, you guys, straight to jail for questioning at least Erika. Look, I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erika Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, you can show me the person who disagrees with me on that after I
That's
will
me.
reveal to you what we can now confirm. You can show me that individual, and I will show you a blown fraud. That's the only people that would disagree with that assessment. I said to my team this morning that the amount of evidence that is now piling up, I would say against Erika Kirk, is almost akin to an NBC Dateline episode, except it's actually more simplified than that.
Is the evidence in the room with us, Candace, or are the voices telling you about the evidence? Because I have watched far too many of this woman's podcast episodes for my soul and my mental health, frankly, including the first hour-long hit job she dropped in this series about Erika Kirk. And one thing that was noticeably absent was any sort of evidence actually linking Erika Kirk to wrongdoing or to a cover-up, which you would think. I'm not saying Erika Kirk is beyond reproach, right? She's the head of a political organization, criticize her leadership. Obviously, she's doing stuff in the public eye that is fair to question. I do think we should give a lot of grace to people and how they grieve, but obviously that's not totally unlimited. But to be dissecting everything about this woman's life and humiliating and attacking her in this way when she's the widow of your supposed dear friend and the mother of his children just seems totally insane to me, absent some action, saying the police should haul her in for questioning, absent some like very hardcore, direct, solid evidence of some kind of wrongdoing, which literally does not exist. And Candace has not even attempted to provide, but just acts like she has. It's kind of crazy, actually. But guys, we're going to get into the series itself in this first episode, and I'll show you the clips that I pulled from it. Now let's get into Bride of Charlie, Candace Owens' big series exposing Erika Kirk. Well, I watched it in full, and you'd think that if you were going to go after Charlie Kirk's widow, right, if you were going to put her through the ringer like this, you would only ever do so if you had some like real hard evidence of wrongdoing, and you would lead with that, because otherwise it looks like you're just milking gossip about her and humiliating her and attacking her because people are interested in it in some kind of sick way, and you're going to make millions of dollars doing it. And we'll go through the finances in a little bit. Actually, it's remarkable stuff. But no, I mean, we'll go through I'll just start going through some of the clips of this because frankly, Candace, it was kind of maddening to listen to her, but I had to. So you do as well, the only brief clips rather than the full thing. Let's listen to this first Candace clip.
There is a very strange thing happening right now where a young woman with absolutely zero professional qualifications has been inserted at the top of a charity organization that pulled in over $250 million last year. And the media is telling you that you have no right to know or to ask anything about her.
Me when I lie, like no one is saying you can't question Erika Kirk's leadership of Turning Point USA, or that you don't have a right to know anything about her. They're saying you shouldn't accuse her of being involved in her husband's death for no reason, and you shouldn't dissect her entire life for entertainment fodder and attack her and humiliate her in every way imaginable for no real reason. That's what they're saying. How do you not get that, Candace? I really don't understand. It's just such a disingenuous us versus them framing. And then Candace does this thing where she frames the fact that people are upset about you as like proof that you're over the target or right or something. And that can be the case, but it can also not. Like, people also get upset at you if you're doing something really evil and really messed up. And she doesn't seem to get that part, but she did talk about some of the backlash she's received since launching her series. And I want to acknowledge that some of that is definitely wrong. Let's look at this.
We haven't even said anything yet. A 2-minute trailer resulted in one of the most aggressive preemptive PR strikes that I have ever seen. They posted photos of my manager's infant daughter, my makeup artist, my family members. Lots of voicemail from my producer. Okay, Well, this was initially supposed to be just 3 episodes. Now I'm thinking about a season 2 and a season 3. Because if you haven't quite figured me out yet or thought through how we got here, I don't like it when innocent people are targeted and attacked and on rare occasions shot in the neck in broad daylight. No one blinked when entire investigative series and books were written about Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Meghan Markle, because they're public figures.
There's a lot to say about this clip here. One, she's like, everyone got so mad at me just because I dropped a hit piece for a trailer for a hit piece on Charlie Kirk's widow. Little old me. Why would anyone be upset? I didn't even say anything yet. It was just a teaser because it's obvious what you're doing. You're targeting this woman for no reason, and you're going through her personal life and just digging up dirt to try to embarrass her. Not right. The trailer didn't even contain any hint at any evidence, because we discussed the trailer on the show, any hint at any evidence she actually did something wrong related to Charlie Kirk's death. And if you don't have that, then just shut the up. Like, leave her alone then. Seriously, that's the only thing that could possibly justify putting a widow through this kind of public torment, is if you actually had some there to some of the profoundly serious criminal accusations you are lobbing at people. And it's so funny to see Candace say, I just don't like to see bad things happen to innocent people, when throughout this investigation, she has literally implicated random people of wrongdoing because they were wearing maroon at the campus where Charlie Kirk was shot. I'm serious. She showed their photos and said they might be military if they're wearing maroon. She has suggested that a congressman was at a secret military base meeting in the days before Charlie was killed, when he was literally on footage in Congress when that was happening. And so she has constantly, and that's just a couple of examples, wrongly implicated people who are innocent people. And now she's clutching her pearls, which, to be fair, I have to say, leave her makeup artist alone. Do not go after Candace's low-level staff and criticize Candace, push back on her ideas, but I don't support dragging support staff and makeup artists through the mud and trying to cancel them. And that's not going to help anything. It's just going to cause more pain, and it's only going to also kind of push people deeper into their corners and convince people that, oh, she's on to something. Look how hard they're trying to stop her. I think people need to focus their criticism on Candace, on pushing back on her, and on substantively criticizing and calling her out. But I don't support harassing staffers. I think that is counterproductive and wrong and not something people should be doing. And I'm happy to say that, but I am going to call BS on Candace suddenly caring about innocent people being put through the ringer when that's her career at this point. And also saying well, why can't I dig up dirt for no reason on Erika Kirk because people have done investigations of Hillary Clinton? Well, that doesn't even make sense at face value, because one, those were real investigations. That was actual investigative journalism based in, some of it was not, and that stuff got a lot of criticism. But that was actually based in facts and evidence and cause to make the claims that those journalists were making. And to the extent that it wasn't, it was also criticized, and rightly so. But you're telling us that also, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. She was a senator. She was a first lady. That's not comparable to the widow of Charlie Kirk, who became president of Turning Point. And if you want to investigate and report on Erika Kirk's leadership of Turning Point USA, what is she doing with the organization? Who are they endorsing? How are they spending money? I think that's fair game. Absolutely. And I would certainly never say what are her public speeches that she's giving? Who is she hiring? That's true, right? At that point, she's not beyond criticism as a widow, but you're doing more than that. You're literally digging up dirt on her grandparents, as we will get to in your series, and you're finding her daycare photos and her high school yearbook images, and you're speaking to her ex-boyfriends, and you're just digging up dirt and gossip to humiliate her that has literally no connection to Charlie's death or Turning Point USA's actual political significance, which obviously is fair game. So you can't then say, well, I'm just doing investigative journalism of a public figure. No, you're digging up dirt. You're engaging in gossip-driven slander against the wife of your supposed friend. I really believe that Charlie would be cursing you. He would be rolling over in his grave and cursing you at this point, Candace. And she just can't see that. But let's keep going. Let's look at this next clip here.
An example, we are told that Erika Kirk was raised by a strong, independent, entrepreneurial, single mother who taught her how to be a good Christian, a devout Catholic mother. Lori Franzfey, right? As an aside, that this Catholic mom, who am I to judge Catholics, but she's been married 4 times that I can see. We'll talk about that more down the line.
So, and guys, remember, I watched this full episode. Candace digs up dirt on Erika Kirk's mom. What does that have to do with Charlie Kirk's death? What does that even really have to do with Erika Kirk? Nothing. It's just tea. It's just gossip. Why not humiliate this family? Why not stir the pot with some drama? Candace also, like, pretty baselessly suggests that Erika Kirk's mom might not be her actual mom. Like that's not her real mom, and her evidence for this is just some scandal that she used, like, the wrong Swedish word to refer to her Swedish grandfather. She used the one for, like, maternal rather than paternal, or vice versa. And it's like, or they could just not actually be fluent in Swedish, and it's just like a tradition they use kind of wrong. Like, it's not everything is that deep. The exercise in digging up dirt on her extended family is what most of this episode consisted of. I mean, she spent so much time talking about the criminal history and involvement in gambling of Erika Kirk's grandparents. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Even if you took it all as 100% fact-based gospel, which I don't take anything Candace Owens says as at face value, because she's made so many massive factual errors in the past. But even if you were to, it's like, what is the relevance of any of this? Seriously, I would love to hear someone explain how the gambling crimes, under the table gambling of Erika Kirk's grandparents is relevant to literally anything. But this is the investigation bombshell we've been waiting for, apparently. Let's look at this next clip.
I want to sear into your mind right now that the Abbas family history is steep in gambling and casinos. All about gambling and casinos specifically. As we go along in this series, the history and the present of gambling casinos is going to become increasingly relevant. So let's bring in the OG Loretta Abbas, Erika's great-grandmother who died in 1990, who is just constantly being arrested for running illegal slot machines. Okay, she came over from Syria and she got to work bringing filth and fraud in Pennsylvania.
Now we're not even doing the grandparent hit job. She just brought up Erika Kirk's great-grandmother running illegal slot machines and promised us that this is going to be relevant to how she needs to be in jail or questioned by the police over the death of Charlie Kirk. Is the relevance on the same planet as us? Because the levels of, like, schizo delusion required to connect these dots. How are people watching this and like munching their popcorn and being like, so true, Queen, that's so suspicious. Yeah, Erika definitely must have collaborated with the Egyptian military to be in on killing Charlie Kirk. If her grandmother was, secretly doing illegal slot machines in 1920, then her great-grandmother, then, she's basically dead to rights. I mean, this evidence, what did Candace say? She was like, this evidence is, it's like too concrete for there even to be an NBC Dateline special. Those require a little bit of mystery, and we got some hardcore evidence here, yeah. Like the fact that her great-grandmother had slot machines that weren't legal. I'm almost lost it for words. I knew it was going to be bad. Like, I knew that this was going to be a hit job. But I was surprised by the extent to which episode 1, and I will keep watching the series and I will do more content about this, but today I'm focusing on episode 1. I can only unweave so many hours of conspiracy nonsense at once. I was somewhat surprised by the extent to which she didn't even pretend to focus on the actually relevant thing here that she says she's investigating in this episode, and so obviously and so unashamedly just brought up random and like random gossip and tea about Erika and her like extended family and who her cousin by marriage and twice removed might have been, and if she was secretly Jewish. At one point, Candace was talking about how the elementary school that Erika went to used to be a Jewish school. Again, what the that has to do with literally anything is beyond me. I was watching this and I don't know, man. This video has like 3 million views, by the way. This first episode, and that's just the beginning, right? Now think of how many millions across podcasts. Who are these people and what is wrong with them that they are still uncritically, unabashedly cheering this on and eating it up? I just don't get it. I got 2 more clips here, then a few more important outside facts I want to bring into this conversation. Let's look at this next video.
I can show you this photo of her at daycare. LOL, by the way, to her being dressed as a little bee and accidentally throwing up some Freemason hand signs. That's just like a nice ad. She looks adorable.
Well, I'm glad that Candace is getting to the bottom of who really killed Charlie Kirk by digging up photos from Erika Kirk's daycare. What are we doing? Also, like, I'm not even going to get into the whole lore about the bees, but Candace has this whole theory about like bees being the key to everything in the state of Utah, and I think like the Illuminati or something. I'd have to refresh myself on the details of it, but that's what she's like referencing there. Also, I love how just holding your hands in a certain way, like while you're taking a photo, she's like, that's a Freemason hand signal. The crack they're making these days is like industrial grade, that these crack pipes they must be hitting to be. This is scripted, or I don't know if it's like 100% scripted, but these episodes are pre-planned. It's not like she's just popping off, right? Like they went through this, they have a show outline, and they really thought like, you know what? Let's put the photo in that we dug up of Erika Kirk from daycare in a bumblebee costume. That will really paint the picture as to why we're saying that the widow of Charlie Kirk needs to be in jail. The math isn't even mathing. The math is not even in numerals. It's I'm almost lost for words at the audacity of this at this point. Like, it's just a shameless degree of propaganda and infotainment. She's just treating this woman's life, and these kids, Charlie's kids, are going to see this, and she's just treating this all like it's just tea. Like she's talking about the latest tea with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It's like no, you're putting these people through the ringer. Oh my God. All right, here's the final clip I pulled from this episode.
Why are you freaking out about an investigative series if your whole premise is she's just an innocent grieving widow? Don't you appreciate how stupid you look? You're basically saying she's not a grieving widow. Obviously she's not, because if you investigate her, you're going to find something. Like, are you guys just not smart?
Yeah, we're not smart, Candace. That's the thing. I'm going to play another Candace clip that I found, but in a moment that is not related to this, but just cracked me up. But she's saying like, they're so mad that we announced we're investigating this widow because so clearly there must be something, or they wouldn't be mad that we're investigating her. It's like, or imagine a hypothetical scenario where you have an innocent person being wrongly accused of things and someone's digging up irrelevant dirt on them just to humiliate them to make money, or you would be bothered by that because it's immoral and wrong and evil. It doesn't mean, oh, she's secretly guilty, or why would they be mad that we're asking questions?
Just not smart. Like, you should be like, oh, interesting. Well, she's great. So what are you going to investigate? No, they're like, pray for Erika. Someone's looking into her background. Pray. Oh, she will need your prayers. Her children need your prayers. They were doing that. Pray for her children. Why? Because she's at the office the whole time?
Or because you're publicly humiliating their family for no reason and unleashing a deluge of deranged people, uh, mocking the idea that Charlie Kirk's children should be prayed for. Okay.
Like, what was that? What was that freak out panic? When have we ever done anything to the children at all? Ever said anything? Of course, we want the children to be great. You should not be praying for the children because an investigative series is coming out about their mother who has chosen to be the CEO.
Yeah, and that means that she's fair game as far as being CEO is concerned. Not that you can literally do whatever you want to her and just spin up lies and then be like, well, she's the CEO, so. And yeah, actually, it's bad for children that you're subjecting to their grieving mother to all of this. How do you not get that? And I'm sorry, but I love that this woman has the audacity to call us stupid. Yeah, we're stupid, Candace. Says the woman who literally doesn't know how to pronounce half the words she says with regularity. I love these Twitter accounts that have cropped up that are just like Candace Owens struggling to read. But I want to play you another clip of Candace because she just insulted our intelligence, and I'm not going to allow that after she, this is her, I think, in a year or two ago, confessing to her own brilliance. Listen to this.
Okay, I have to tell you guys something before we get into comments, because I need to know that I'm not the only person who didn't know this. Okay, I didn't know this, but also Savannah didn't know this, so at least two of us didn't know this. I was on a walk with my husband, and it was thundering, I think, and I was like, oh, no big deal, we can keep walking because there's no lightning. And he was like, what do you mean by that? And I said, like, it's just thunder. Lightning is the problem. And then my husband was like, you know that it can't thunder without lightning, right? That thunder is the sound of lightning. My mind was completely blown. I promise you, in my 35 years of living, I had never heard that. And I just need to know in the live chat right now if this is just a girl thing, because me and Savannah didn't know this, or is this literally just me and Savannah are the only people in the entire world that didn't know this? Or are you shaken to your core as I was yesterday and as Savannah was this morning, learning that thunder is the sound of lightning? I don't know, guys. I have to just kind of share with you random tidbits of my life.
This is the woman that just called us stupid, by the way. She did not know what thunder was, and more than that, because you know what? Sometimes I'll have a moment where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know that, or whatever. She thought that this would be like a relatable little moment. And oh my God, is it just a girl thing to not know basic facts they teach you in second grade? Like the audacity of this woman to call us stupid. And to call us frauds, by the way, if we don't agree with her. Yeah, we're the frauds, Candace, not the one who is making millions of dollars with smear campaigns and baseless allegations and conspiracy theories, accusing Charlie Kirk's best friends and loved ones of secretly murdering him in cahoots with Egypt and Israel and Brigitte Macron, who somehow her penis is relevant to this. Like, I want to discuss this a little bit. So when I was watching the financial aspect of this, because I don't know that you can divorce this, and I'm not somebody who likes to go to this as a first explanation, but it is so over the top with Candace that you have to discuss it. Candace put in this one episode, and I counted, she put 8 ad reads into this episode about digging up gossip about Erika Kirk's high school yearbook and great grandmother and all this other random that has nothing to do with the things she says she's been investigating. And she put 8 ad reads. That is an insane, outside like sponsorships. That's like an insane number of ad reads for a one YouTube video or one hour podcast, in my experience. Like, I mean, obviously you could put multiple in a video that length, but 8 is a lot. And we don't have access to Candace's specific finances, but I read some reporting this morning from Fortune and from the Free Press, and they look at very similar sized conservative podcasts where we do know what they get, and they can vary a lot, but anywhere from $10,000 to $45,000 to the high end, even almost as high as $100,000 per sponsored ad read. So let's, like, I guess the lowest possible end estimate that she's making on these shows is like just under 100,000, but it's possible that she's making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in ad reads with just every single episode of this podcast she does attacking Erika Kirk. That's not even counting the YouTube revenue from the built-in YouTube. Like, think about it like this, guys. Candace Owens is honoring the death of her friend by making millions of dollars publicly attacking and humiliating his widow and the mother of his children through this like random speculation and gossip that, even if 100% true, which I'm sure it's not, really has nothing to do with and would not prove or advance her conspiracy theories about his death at all. How can anyone think about that and be like, wow, that's a good person? That's an upstanding commentator and influencer using their platform in a responsible way. I can't relate to the level of delusion required to reach that conclusion. I simply cannot. I find this all to be despicable. And at this point, I really don't hesitate to say that Candace Owens is clearly both a very mentally ill woman, but also an evil woman. Also truly an evil person for what she's doing. And I don't even find that surprising, because like there's no low for her that she could. I've just seen her do so much at this point that it's not going to shock me. But what I find so sad and so disheartening about all of this is the fact that millions of Americans, even after she's literally getting fact-checked and debunked by Alex frickin' Jones, are still nodding along and clapping like seals and supporting and enabling this psychotic woman's evil, evil propaganda. And that to me is the real problem. Not this one woman, but the millions of Americans who, I don't know, just have no standards or expectations of decency or integrity or factual accuracy whatsoever in the media and political content they consume. That's a real problem. That's a lot bigger than just one person making millions of dollars in a dishonest way. That's a much, much bigger problem. But in my own small way, I'm trying to do something different, something honest and fact-based and independent and nonpartisan here on the Brad versus Everyone podcast. And I guess I'll leave it there for this episode. So do hit the like button if you haven't yet. Do comment, make sure you're subscribed, and please do consider becoming a channel member to support my content. Maybe I can make 1/1000th of how much money Candace Owens makes if enough of you guys sign up to support me down below at the link in the description or hit the join button. And regardless, guys, that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad versus Everyone podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk again real soon.